start teaching, you have an issue.
Ma'am joined.
Ma'am is come. Ma'am, they've all on their video. See them now only. See, again, Suraj is gone.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am, you continue.
Yeah, sure. I don't know what is happening to my connection.
Welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you, Ananya. So, Salim, he's actually, he need to produce or make 3,000 pairs of shoes. So, two types of loan he's taking. The first one, he's asking the leather supplier that let him supply little more quantity of leather without paying. He will be paying that later stage. Okay, after making and selling the shoes, he will pay him, and at the same time he has taken the money from the trader. Trader is the person who is demanded Salim to make the shoes. So from two person he has taken the credit. Which are the two person, Aniket? Which are the two person Salim has taken the credit? Tell me.
Ma'am?
Ma'am, the trader and the seller of the leather.
Supplier. See, Aniket, please listen carefully. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm listening.
Yeah, the seller, the trader, and the supplier, leather supplier. So what happened? He could able to make 3,000 shoes, and he supplied to the trader, and he got the money, and he repaid his loan. And it is that loan, whatever Salim has taken, is having positive impact on him. He became like his money increased, and he could able to repay his loan, whatever he has taken. The next example we can see Swapna. Swapna is a small farmer, grows groundnut on her 3 acres of land. Okay, so initially during the time of sowing, she is in need of money. So what she has done, she has borrowed the money from the money lender. Okay, and she started her cultivation, farming. But later what happened is, because of the what we can say, he has to spray her crops with expensive pesticides. He makes little difference. He's unable to repay the her crops were hit by the pest. So she couldn't get the grains whatever she expected. So she couldn't able to pay the money what she has taken from the money lender. So for paying the money or the next time cultivation, again she is in need of taking the loan. So here from the debt, Swapna's debt has turned to debt trap. She has in the stage of debt trap. So here the negative impact of the credit. So Salim's case, we learned that he could able to repay the money, and he what we can say is economic status has improved. But Swapna's case, what happened to Swapna? Swapna's case, she became worst. So paying the loan, she has to even sell her small portion of her land. Okay, so from debt to debt trap. Understood. So these two are the important credits impacts: positive credit impacts and negative credit impact. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So if the question is asked also, you have to explain with these two examples: Salim's example and Swapna's example. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Ananya, concentrate here.
Yeah, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Now the next we are going to see now by the small farmers, they are not getting the loan from the bank. Why they have to depend more on the money lenders? What is the reason for that?
And they don't have any property to give to the bank. As surety.
As surety, correct. For security, we can say. For security, actually the bank will pay the loan only if the borrower is promising, or they are giving their security, that is known as the collateral security. Collateral means the security. So for security purpose, for example, we can say what the borrower is having, maybe his asset in the form of land, vehicle, buffaloes, cattle, whatever he is having, he can pledge that. when he is taking the loan. So most of the small farmers, what is the problem? They are not having all these things. That is why they have to depend upon whom?
Money lenders.
Money lenders. And they have to pay very
high interest.
Very high interest rate. Okay. So in the textbook, they have given the definition of collateral. Collateral is an asset that the borrower owns that can be in the form of buildings, vehicle, livestock, deposits with bank. Can you tell me, if I'm having deposit in the bank, again why I need to take the loan? If I'm having deposits in the bank, why I should take the loan again?
Maybe that's not enough.
No, that deposit I'm showing
Might have been
as a
fixed
collateral.
deposit.
That deposit I'm showing as a collateral.
Yes, ma'am. That must be fixed deposit.
That must be fixed deposit. Correct. Got
Mom,
it?
I didn't understand.
You were talking there.
No, Mom, I was giving my textbook.
Listen carefully, Ananya. So here we are discussing about collateral securities. Collateral is an asset that the borrower owns. It can be in the form of land, building, vehicle, livestock, deposits with bank. That uses this as a guarantee to the banker, to the lender, until the loan is repaid. So till the loan is repaid, that will be there with the lender. That is known as collateral. Ananya, understood? So for example, if I'm going to the bank and I want to take 5 lakhs rupees, okay. So what bank will not give me directly the money. I have to pledge something, maybe my land, property, anything, whatever I'm having. Okay.
Yeah.
So that I have to pledge, then the bank will give. So it is a promise actually. If I'm in future, if I'm not able to pay, what the bank can do, Sudesh? What the bank will do?
And the bank will take away their property. The collateral.
They can sell the property and they can take their money, whatever I need to pay, and the rest they will give to me if anything is left over. Okay.
Ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, when the farmers they put the pledge like cattle, land or something, can they use that?
No. Only that. So if for a certain period they have taken the loan. No. So if they are unable to repay that, they will take we can see in the movie and all, in the village scene, we can see the bank will taking the cow and they will tie it there in their place. So somewhere again these people will run up to the money lenders and take the money and pay the banker. Understood?
Okay.
So the cattle will be used by this person only, farmer people only. Okay. But if they are not paying it, they will take away the things.
Mom, so it basically means that if they can't pay, the property will become property will come in the name of the bank.
Bank. Correct. Okay, they not name of the bank, they will sell that. Why?
Okay,
what bank will do with that? They will sell and they will take the money, but we need to pay.
I thought keep in the locker or something.
Okay. So here that is meant by the collateral. Daniel, can you define collateral? What is collateral? What is collateral?
Bank will.
Collateral is an asset. Define properly. Collateral is an asset.
Collateral is an asset. Then
that the borrower owns in the form of what?
In the form of loan.
Land, buildings,
land, vehicles,
livestock.
Land.
Once again you say.
Collateral is an asset that the borrower
owns in the form of
land. Or
land. Full stop. Land. Full stop. Then not full stop. Comma. Land.
Buildings.
Buildings.
Other properties.
Livestock. Vehicle. Understood. So all these are the collateral security. Okay. So here next we are going to learn the terms of credit. What is meant by terms of credit? Terms of credit means the collateral security. That is whatever we are promising them to pay. Then the documentation required. Whatever documents. for example, land, the land documents, and terms of loans, mode of repayment, and rate of interest. These together can be called as terms of credit. So for taking or borrowing money, we have to have all these things. That first one is collateral security, second is documents whatever is required, terms of loan with how many months you have taken the loan, mode of payment, how you will be paying the loan, and the rate of interest. Okay, Daniel, tell me the difference between the banks and which is better, to borrow from the money from the bank or from the money lender? Which is better?
The bank.
Bank. Why?
Because money lenders, they charge higher rates of interest.
Yes, they will charge higher rate of interest. Now, Daniel understood what are terms of credit, collateral security, documentation required, terms of the loan, mode of repayment, rate of interest. Ananya, got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, we can say that we have two types of credits. Okay, we have two types of credit, sources of credit. One is formal sources and the next one is informal sources. What are they? Formal sources and informal sources. What are formal sources? Formal sources of credit are banks and cooperative societies. Banks and cooperative societies are formal source of credit. Informal sources of credits are money lenders, landlords, your neighbors, friends, relatives, whoever is paying you money or you are borrowing money from them. That is informal sources. So there are two types of sources of credit, formal sources and informal sources. So formal sources includes banks and cooperatives. Informal sources include your friends, relatives, money lender, landlords, neighbor, etc. Okay, the difference between formal and informal is formal sources of credit is transparent. That means they will say this is the rate of interest what I am going to collect from you. But informal, we can say there is nobody to supervise, so the money lenders can charge very high rate of interest from the borrower. Nobody is there to question them. But here all the banks and cooperatives will come under the Reserve Bank of India, and they will supervise the functioning of the these banks, and also they have to collect only very low rates of interest. Okay, and they should also see the bank is providing loans to even to the small farmers also. Okay, they cannot always give or grant loans to the big business firms or rich people. They have to see, the Reserve Bank will see whether banks are providing loans even to the poor farmers also. Okay, so we have two sources of credit, formal and informal. Formal example, banks and cooperatives. Informal, the money lender, landlord, friends, relatives, etc. So the difference between these two are, one is actually transparent. The next one is it's not transparent. Second point, you can rate very high rates of interest in the money lender, informal sources, but here the rate of interest will be less. And here formal sources are supervised by the Reserve Bank, but informal sources are not supervised. For example, if I have borrowed money from a money lender, okay, and I on what basis he is giving the money to me? On what basis? See, I am not giving him any collateral security. What is collateral security, Daniel? Now tell me. What is collateral security?
Collateral security is an asset that the borrower owns in the form of land, buildings, livestock,
vehicle,
and other
very good, very good. So, as I am not having any collateral, the money lender is ready to give me money. On what basis? Why he is giving me money? Can anyone answer? Can anybody?
Trust.
Gautam, just try Gautam.
Trust.
Trust. Yes. So he know personally my house, and actually money lenders, we know to collect the interest rate, they will come to our house. Okay. So personally he know, and he is having the trust. So the first I have already borrowed certain amount of money, but again I am in need of emergency. So if I am going, he is ready to pay the money. Understood? So a trust, or we can say, and sometimes we can see that the money lenders will always harass the borrowers. Understood? See, one more day, next week I will come, you have to pay the money. Otherwise, like that, we can see the harassment they have to face, and they will be having so many people behind them. Understood? They will come and question these people, why you are not paying the money. Understood? So all these things are happening in the informal sources of credit, as the farmers, they don't have the collateral and other things. They all are depending upon the informal sources. Is that
the
clear?
money lender can be cheated also, right? So like the farmer can take the money and run away to some other place.
That also, that risk also will be there for the money lender.
So why can't this money lending and the informal source of credit be banned?
Banned.
Yes, ma'am.
It's like borrowing money from your
the rural areas, we don't find so many banks in rural area, remote area, and also we can say that banks cannot fulfill the needs of each and every person in our country. Understood? So some people are doing this as a business. That is their work, like lending money, taking the interest, and that is their job. Okay, so that we cannot ban in our country. No, how will ban? You tell me.
Because some many lenders they can cheat farmers. Like farmers are not so much educated, like small farmers, so they can apply very high interest in farmers.
That is what is happening, no, Pranav. Because when they are in need, they have to see. For example, if they are landless laborers, we know their condition. If somebody in the family is sick, they are in need of money, so they will not see the interest rate. That time in their mind, see, somehow I have to borrow money.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood? So they have to depend on these money lenders and other people, informal sources. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Understood?
So in some way, informal sources of credit is actually good.
Not very good, but okay, they can somehow satisfy their emergencies. Okay.
You can't ban those informal sources. You can't just, if someone is not well in your house, you just can't go to bank and get money from
them. That's what.
If you ban that, there'll be it's risky.
See, now because of Corona, we know 2 months some people are not having any work at all. Correct? No. So think about their condition, livelihood. Life is there. If they are finding it difficult for their livelihood, it is a problem. No. So definitely these people will be depending upon these lenders. They will not go to the bank and okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the informal lenders include money lenders, traders, employers, relatives, and friends. There is no organization which supervise. There is no supervise the credit activities of lenders in the informal sector. They collect high rate of interest. They do not follow any rules or procedures. So according to their own rules, they will charge very high rates from the borrowers, and there is nobody to supervise. Understood? They do not follow any rules and procedures. Understood? Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we can see
that. Can you just go to the previous slide for 1 minute?
Fast, Ananya, because in between call drops and I miss 5 minutes.
Yeah, ma'am, you can go back.
Yeah. So here we can see that the credit in the urban area. So in your textbook, page number, where it is given. Page number 49. Can you take page number 49 in your textbook?
Yes.
Yes. Page number, Prerana, just tell me that graph. Just explain after reading that. Prerana, are you there, Prerana?
Ma'am, 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Page number 49. Hmm.
49, right? Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
The pie chart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the pie chart. Here it is given graph to page number 49. It's showing the loans taken by urban household. What is the percentage? So the blue color is showing the informal sector, purple color is showing the formal sector. So you can see in the poor household is taking 85% of the credit from whom?
80 from
Informal
the
sector.
informal sector.
Informal sector, and 15% from formal sector.
Formal sector.
Again, you go to the rich household, the last one, you can see 90% rich
90%
household
from
are
the
taken from
formal
sector.
sector. 10% are taken from
the informal sector.
informal sector. Understood? So household with few asset, 53% they are taking from the informal, 47 from the formal sector. Again, well-off household, 28 from the informal, 72 from the formal sector. That's very easy to understand. So from this, we are coming to the conclusion that the rich and well-off household and household with few assets are depending more on the formal sectors. The poor household always, they are depending upon the what? Informal sectors. Informal sectors. Okay, that is what we can come to the conclusion that the the poor people are always depending upon the informal sector because they don't have the collateral to submit. And the rich people are, we know, the rich and well-off people, those who are having asset, they all will depend upon the formal sector. They have the collateral to submit there. Understood, all of you? Now, we have here in your textbook, they have given few examples. So, page number 46. Sunidhi, take page number 46. We have the example of Shamal, Arun, Rema. Okay, Sunidhi will read and understand Shamal's case study, and you will explain here. And Arun, Sudesh will read, Rema's, Ananya will read, and loans from cooperatives, Shruti can explain. You just read. Others also can read along with them. Page number 46. Vaibhavi, are you there? Vaibhavi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
My
yes.
internet is glitching.
Okay. Please read. Sunidhi, you will read. Yes. Shamal. Rema, who is reading?
Me, ma'am.
Ananya. Arun, Sudesh is reading, and Shruti read the loans from cooperatives. That is page number 47. These are the different forms of credit for the people. Which are the different forms, different way the people borrow money. From whom they are borrowing money, we will understand from these examples. I am keep on explaining. You few people are not at all listening anything. Done?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sudesh, done?
Yes, ma'am.
Sunidhi?
Yes, ma'am.
Shruti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then we will start.
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
start with Sunidhi. Sunidhi, just tell me, what did you understand from Shamal?
Ma'am, he says that in every season he needs a loan for his land, and a few years back he used to take the interest from a money lender at 60% per annum. So at the yes, ma'am, per year, and at the beginning of the cropping season, the trader used to supply him some farmer inputs, and he had to repay them when the crops were ready for harvest. And beside interest charge on the loan, he also had to sell him the crops. So since the crop prices were low, the trader is able to make a profit at a low price from the farmer, and then he was selling it at a price that has been rising.
Exactly. So what did you understand? This is actually variety of credit arrangement. So here in Sunidhi's example, that Shamal's example, we understood that he borrowed the money from the money lender and also from the trader. So from the trader, if they are borrowing money, after harvesting, what they have to do? They have to sell the crops to this particular, Sunidhi, they have to sell the crops to
the money lender
or the trader. Understood? So he will be getting the interest rate, and at the same time the crops what the farmers are producing at very less price. So the trader can earn more profit through this. Understood? So this is one way of credit arrangement that is happening in the rural area. Now Ananya, tell me.
So basically, Rama works in a neighboring field, and she needs to like take loans from the money lender most of the time, especially when there's a sudden illness or a family function or anything. And though the landowner doesn't treat her well, she yet works for him because she needs the money and he's ready to pay for when she's in need.
The first arrangement, land credit arrangements, we learned the person is having his own land, but here in Rema's case we understood that landless. She is working in the landlord, for the landlord, and whenever she is in need of money, she will borrow from the landlord. And at the same time, she is not getting the wages properly, and if she is not failed to pay the money what she borrowed, she has to render free service to the landlord.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is a next type of credit arrangement. What is yours, Sutesh? What is the example? Whose example you are? Arun.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, Sutesh.
Ma'am, Arun has 7 acres of land. He has taken loan from the bank at 8.5% interest per annum for cultivating potatoes, and the loan has to be repaid anytime within 3 years. So he decides to sell a part of his crop and repay the loan, and he stores the other half of the crop potatoes in a cold storage to apply for a fresh loan.
So here three situations. One is a person with a small plot of land. Second person landless. Third one is Arun is actually a rich farmer. Correct? No. So whatever he is producing, he is selling it, and with that he can buy the machineries, and when he wants to buy the machinery again, he is applying for a fresh loan, and easily he could able to pay that money. Understood? So that is the situation of Arun, Rema and Shamal. Okay. So the cooperative societies and self-help group will be learning in the next class because time already up. Okay, children. So
yes,
one request, all of you will read that history chapter and come for the next class. Okay. So
the whole
I have
chapter.
prepared already. I have history, nationalism in Europe. I have prepared so many multiple choice questions for you to revise. So if you want to answer me, you have to read the textbook thoroughly. Understood? Please please write. Please read it carefully and come. Okay.
On the whole chapter.
Whole chapter, whatever that unification of Germany and Italy, I will explain. No need to read that.
Okay.
The rest of the thing, I think you can